Well, okay with like eating and listening to this presentation, or you go ahead, please. So then we'll be discussing BlazeDS. This is again an open source components available by question and answers round. An HTTP service, as all of you know, is like get and post request sent to the server. So Flex has very good components for HTTP. This right side diagram shows there are three options available for the interactions, like SOAP, HTTP, and AMF. AMF is a protocol, binary protocol to send requests to the server. Full form is action script message format. So basically, why it is advantages of using HTTP and this web services is they are easy to invoke through Flex because there are standard components available. You have to just write a single line of code saying HTTP service and you can invoke a HTTP. You can make an HTTP request for in a single line you can call a web service. It will be RESTful web services. You are saying Firefox supports calling us? Yeah. Web service is you can make use of existing web infrastructure. Like you will have already a maybe web service or HTTP service required. Then all this communication is asynchronous because it's an event-based architecture. So you make a call and you don't need to wait for the multiple result format support is there. Once a result comes, you can either pass it as an XML or as object or plain text. You have to just say the result format is this and the rest of Flex will take care of it. Inbuilt comprehensive fault handling. This means like if there are any failures in the network or on the server side, so you don't have to handle exceptions in multiple ways. You just say I will handle this fault and you get all the errors at one place and you can handle those faults. So this is a code sample. This shows HTTP service. Like to invoke HTTP service, you just say HTTP service, you give URL, say method get, and then you define result handlers and fault handlers. So this is a single line of code which is making an HTTP service component. After that, you have to just say HTTP service.send. It will invoke that HTTP service and you will get the response in your result handler method. So this is just to show how simple it is to call a HTTP service or a web service. So these are the two, these are open standard HTTP and web service, and Flex supports both of them. And this BlazeDS is open source. So till this point, there is no actually on the server side you don't have any Adobe technology. Flex takes care of HTTP service and web service, and you don't need BlazeDS for this till now. BlazeDS is a set of components available for supporting various services. So maybe Dipanjan will carry.
So just right now we talked about HTTP service and web service. So these are like, this standards has been there for quite some time. So we have got lot of APIs exposed over HTTP services and web services. What is BlazeDS now? So BlazeDS it's a server-side technology. First of all, it gives you a set of services with which your Flex client can interact with your Java server side. Whatever server you might have on Java, your Flex clients can interact with your Java server side through BlazeDS. But of course, you could have done so through web services and HTTP services, right? So why would you want to use BlazeDS in the first go? There are a lot of advantages of BlazeDS. So first of all, it is that the connection you make with the Flex clients through the server is very lucid and very transparent. So you can very easily connect your Flex and Ajax clients to your server-side logic. It's free and open source, of course. And you have a very fast messaging format, which is the action messaging format. So I'll be talking about the action messaging format in the next few slides. But it is definitely much faster. It's a binary format, first of all. So it's definitely much faster than the XML SOAP formats we are used to handling in web services. It almost cuts down the data transfers time to almost 50%. Say. And it is very, say you have an existing server, you want to just integrate it with your Flex client. Suppose say you don't have any web services or you don't have any HTTP services exposed. It's very easy to integrate that with your Blaze.js technology and use your Flex clients with Blaze.js. So Blaze.js is open source and you get the source and everything at this URL. You might just search Google for Blaze.js and it will give you all the necessary resources. So now coming to Blaze.js, Blaze.js supports 3 key services. First service being the remoting service. Like how many of you know of remote objects? Have you heard of remote objects? Like remote objects, as in I would say anything can be a remote object. When you can invoke any, when you can access a particular object on your server from any of your clients, RMI or CORBA, exactly. So that would make it a remote object. Say I have some very simple Java, I have a very simple Java class. Okay, so I have some objects within that. I have some methods within that. I want to access those particular methods from my Flex client. So I can very simply, I might show you a demo. Very simply, I can make that Java class a remote class, and that particular object will be available to me on the Flex side. And I can invoke any public method on that particular class through my Flex client. So that whole thing is supported by the remoting service. Yeah, it will be a service call, yes. It will be a service call, yes. Exactly, it will be a service call, but all the prerequisites and all the mambo jumbo things will be handled by Flex and Blaze.js. So for you, it will be like invoking a method on the server side directly from the client, right? So the next service is the messaging service. Most of you, I don't know, you know about the producer-consumer model? Like you would have consumers, many consumers. Say I am building this is a chat room. Every one of you can be a producer. Every one of you can be a consumer. Like everyone is listening to whatever I have to say. I am listening to whatever you have to say. So all of us are producers and consumers. So all this infrastructure of say making a very good example of this is making a chat room very simply. So you can make a chat room in Flex with using this messaging service very easily. The infrastructure is provided with the Blaze.js. All you have to do is write some few lines of code and your full producer-consumer model messaging service is set up. So that's another major service provided by Blaze.js, and another one is proxy service. I'll not go into the details exactly now, maybe in the next few slides. So, remoting service. This is a very interesting part. I love this best about Blaze.js. So, as I was saying, say I don't have a client server thing set up for me. I want to make a client server project and I have some methods which are lying on my plain old Java objects and I want to use them when I'm creating this project. So what I'll do is that I'll download Blaze.js. Now Blaze.js already comes with a server called the Apache Tomcat. It's also an open source server. So Blaze.js already comes with that. So Blaze.js has got all the infrastructure ready for me to start using my plain old Java objects as plain old Java objects on the server. I would just integrate it with Blaze.js. I would place in some configuration file and I can use that Java object as a remoting object. Now what are the major advantages of remoting? Like first of all, you can directly invoke a method from your Flex client side on your server side with minimalistic setup. There's not much configurations are needed. With minimalistic setup, that's done. Second of all the calls which you would make from your Flex client side are asynchronous. So you can make multiple calls and they might be processed at different points of the time and they would come back whenever they have been finished, and all the calls are asynchronous. There's another very big advantage of using this remoting technology. That is, you can translate your objects on the Flex side, which would be ActionScript objects, to your Java objects when they reach the server. Like say, if I'm invoking a method, I'm invoking a remote method on the server side. I might pass arguments like I might just pass integers or strings, or I just might pass ActionScript objects as arguments to that particular method. So when they would be received on the backend, like on the Java side, they would be very easily translated to plain old Java objects. Obviously, I have to specify in that particular object on ActionScript that which object I want it to translate on. And whenever it reaches the backend, it would be very simply translated to a purely Java object. And hence vice versa. Say, during a remote procedure call, I would obviously want to send some result back to my Flex client, right? So I can send that result as a particular object. I can put in every bit of details in that object. I push that object back to my Flex client, and while it comes back to the Flex client, it will again be translated to an ActionScript object. So this translation is very plain, very simple, and Flex and Blaze.ds would take care of it. You don't have to do anything. So this is the best part I like about this. Now, whatever communication you would have between your Flex clients and servers, that would use AMF, a binary format. So what is AMF? AMF is action messaging format. It's basically what it does is that whenever you send any data over the network, the Flex client would serialize it and convert it into a binary stream of data. It would send the data directly to your Java server, on which Blaze.ds would be there. Blaze.ds would be listening to this serialized data, serialized binary stream which has come in. It would deserialize it and restructure the data as it was. So the communication which would happen, it follows a protocol which is specified by the action messaging format. The action messaging format is much faster than the XML SOAP messages. It actually, underlying the action messaging format, you basically use the HTTP, yes. Oh, sorry. So, underlying the action messaging format, you basically use the HTTP request. So you can say it's a wrapper over the HTTP protocol, and it sends binary data over the HTTP channel itself, but it's definitely much faster than SOAP. And when you are building an enterprise application, when large chunks of data are coming from the server side to the client side and vice versa, action messaging format is definitely much better than plain old HTTP requests. And one thing majorly is that no client-side stubs required. How many of you have worked with web services? So when you use web services, like on your client sites, you can simply process whatever data you get from the SOAP messages as XML, and you can parse those XMLs and extract the object out from it. Or you can provide your IDE with a WSDL path. Your IDE would create some stubs, and as and when the data comes, it will create objects for you based on the stubs generated, right? So if you want direct translation of your objects, like whatever you are sending from your server side to your client side, if you want them to be converted to objects, you would actually require extra bit of code, extra stubs generated for you. So if you are using the remoting service of Flex, you don't need any stubs. Everything will be handled by Blaze.ds and the Flex SDK, whatever classes it has. So these are the major advantages of using the remoting service. So the messaging service, I won't go into a lot of details. BlazeDS provides you with a complete infrastructure of publisher subscriber infrastructure. So there are inbuilt components in Flex SDK where you can create producers and consumers in just one line. You can tell them that this is the destination I want to listen to. Any messages coming onto that destination will automatically reach up to you. Say 10 lines of code and your chat room is ready. It is as simple as that. And as I was saying, zero setup is required. So there would be a J2EE server on which you have a BlazeDS layer. So any Flex client can be a producer, or even your J2EE server can be a producer. So whenever a producer publishes a message onto your BlazeDS, it will reach out to all the consumers listening to that destination. And there is the proxy services. There, due to the Flash security restrictions, and there's a sandbox, the security sandbox, Flash do not allow you to communicate with other domains other than the domain from which it has originated. So cross-domain calls are not allowed in Flash. This is due to the security sandbox Flash is put in. So cross-domain calls are not allowed. So say I have published a Swift and you are accessing it from my server, and that Swift might just require some say web services provided by Google or any other third party which is a cross-domain, right? So those calls won't be allowed directly through Flash. So for those reasons you need the proxy services. The proxy services are basically they reside on BlazeDS. So whenever you make a call to a cross-domain service, you would actually go through BlazeDS. Yeah. Exactly. You would send your request to BlazeDS, and BlazeDS just acts as a proxy, and it kind of sends the request further down to the domain. Since you have the sandbox security restriction only on Flash and not on your server, so that communication is completed and the result would automatically come back to you on your Flex client. So this is like the proxy service, so there's no much need to go into it. So this is, Ajay talked about HTTP services, web services, and now I am saying that use BlazeDS. But why would you actually use BlazeDS? You already have HTTP services, you already have web services, you can definitely use that. First point, as it is written here, it is much faster than any SOAP messaging web services formats we know of, so it's much faster than that. Second of all, you can easily make remote objects out of POJOs. Like if you have a POJO, you want to make a remote object, it's done. It's almost like that. You just have to put a qualified class path in a configuration file of BlazeDS, and your that particular class, that particular POJO will become a remote object. It is as simple as that. So if you want to say expose a method as a web service, you have to do a lot. If you want to say make an HTTP service, you have to write like a HTTP servlet, have your get methods, have your post methods. You don't have to do all those things here. Just give your configuration, just put the qualified class name in your configuration and it's done. Minimum setup required on server, and as I was telling you, there's a seamless translation of ActionScript objects to Java objects and vice versa. So this is very helpful when you are actually having a client server side. You can say that it's almost having, it's like almost having the server side on the client side. Like you have everything accessible on your server side, it's like having the server side on your client side. It's as simple as that. And proxy services are available, and of course you have the full support for producer-consumer model. So this is why you should use BlazeDS. Now the decision is upon you. I just told you the advantages and the parts I like most about BlazeDS. So I really find it very easy to use than a web service or an HTTP service. Say, when I started learning all these things, so I was very new to this particular technology. I also did not know how to set up a server and have it running. But with BlazeDS, Tomcat is readily available, you can very simply set up your server client application. Actually, I also have a demo, but it's on my Windows machine, but it uses Tomcat, so if you are willing to see it, I can show it to you. So, uh, what I did was that I had a Java class. It uses the Picasa public APIs, and I wanted to create a server client. I wanted to create a server client, server side technology with that. So what I did was that I just plainly made that particular Java class. It has all the int method, the main methods and all. It was a very simple Java class. It used to call the Google Picasa APIs and fetch the URLs of the photos anybody has publicly shared on Google. So what I did was that I just created a remote object with that particular Java class. I put it in the deployment of a Tomcat server, which comes readily with Blaze.js. That is also very easy. I just compile my Java object into a java.class file. I put it in the deployment classes directory. I just gave the qualified class path in the Blaze.js configuration file, and my server was ready actually. For the client side, I just had to write around 1.5 pages of code, and actually you can like see all the publicly exposed photos anybody might have uploaded on Picasa. So any photo URL which I would be getting comes from my Java server. So I have start. So I'm starting my Tomcat server. So my demo server is deployed on this particular Tomcat. So this is a very simple, plain simple Flex application, which I just did it in half an hour or so. So it is not that jazzy looking as Flex application are used to. So I've just given my Picasa Google ID, and it is actually contacting the backend, which is running on my Tomcat server. It says there's an exception, picasawebgoogle.com. Internet connection is not there. Just a moment, I'll just connect. It has contacted my Java class, and whenever I click on a particular album, it will again contact my Java class. The Java class would again return me the pictures and the names of the pictures that I have in my album, and all this is just done with only one particular class. I've got two methods in that class, fetch photos and fetch album. I made that particular class a remote object, and I can like access the fetch photos and fetch albums methods directly from my client side. So it's as easy as that. So if you would want to see the deployment, this is my demo deployment, and within this I have the WebINF within classes. I have this two Java classes, and this is the Swift. Sorry, this is the Swift. But that's it, and my application is ready to go. So any questions? Any doubts regarding this? So seeing this, and like, would you like to use Blaze.js with Flex clients? Like, first of all, you would have to start using Flex as your server side, client side, developing client side UIs and all. And if you do happen to use Flex, and if you like Flex and start using Flex, I would definitely suggest go and read up with Blaze.ts. It offers you a whole set of services and all which would make your life very easy. Like integrating with Java servers, it will make your life very easy. If you use Blaze.ts, if you are using any other backends like .NET and all, there are other adapters available for you which are again open source and all. So you can definitely use those. Any questions from any of you? Yeah.
Your application can be get the any ID you can put and we can get the pictures.
Yeah, pardon?
Yeah, you can put an any ID. If you have any ID.
Any ID, if you want, I can.
Public ID.
Public albums are all available.
See, my Java method only gets the Picasa. It uses the Picasa Google API expose. So I downloaded the jars which Google has to provide. I put it in the class path of my project, and I'm using the Picasa Google public APIs with Google at exposing. You can use any other public APIs if you want to have a server on which you want to put your own photos. You can also do that. You can I could have done that also here. I could have put my own photos in this particular server, and I could have accessed that from.
Stored at the backend.
No, I am getting these pictures from Google. Like what my backend is doing is that as soon as I am passing my Google ID to it, it's requesting Picasa to.
Only view these pictures, not store them in any.
Yes, you can. How would you want to, like, you want to save those pictures on the client? Yes, you can definitely do that. You would need to write some more code on the client, but you can very easily do that actually. That's not a problem at all. Like those, again, components are available for you, libraries are available for you in Flex to make it more simple. Say in whatever image I am showing you here, those are it uses an image tag to display those images. Whenever you are downloading any particular image from a particular URL, you can directly ask Flex to download those images and prompt you to save them on your client side. So those can be done.
There already exists one application called Flickroom, F-L-I-C-K-R-O-O-M, Flickroom, flickroom.org. So that basically gets all the photos and everything from Flickr, not for Picasa, it's for Flickr only. So it provides you functionality to save pictures and everything. So you can actually try that application and see what all is possible. Flickroom.com. .org, sorry, not .org.
So that is it. So any more questions?
You said cross-domain services go through Blaze.ts only.
Yeah.
So even that is binary data, or how is that?
That is also through C. When you are actually accessing the proxy services, it is on default HTTP channel. So that is not exactly binary data. When you are accessing cross-domain web services or cross-domain HTTP requests, that is not over the AMF protocol. That will be on your default HTTP channel, and that particular channel is provided by Blaze.ts only for proxy services. That is not binary data. Yes. Anything else? Well, thank you. Thanks a lot, and hope you will be using Blaze.ts.